Today's episode is the 1-year anniversary, and we are answering listener questions.
Talking about buying condoms when I was 11.
Henner Gracie, Jiu Jitsu's ShamWow guy.
Is Mikey Musumeci a lesbian?
Charge your controller batteries and pick up those sticks.
It's wet out. Put a hat on it. Let's get weird.
Welcome back to the pod, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Kenny. I'm here with Matt. What's going on, brother?
Bonjour, guys. A little throwback.
Throwback. Why is it a throwback, Matt?
Because we're a year. This is 1 year episode of the BJJ Balance podcast.
1 year fucking of the BJJ Balance podcast.
Are they for real? Are they consistent? Are they going to be able to do it? You know what it takes to do all this editing and handle the mic and, you know, stuff like that?
Yeah, a year in, we do.
We do. We're here.
Yeah, this is episode 52, folks. We took 1 week off last year between Christmas and New Year's.
And we're probably going to do that again this year, guys.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, a lot of travel, a lot of family. So just be forewarned now. We're probably going to take a week off during the holidays.
Yeah. But 51 episodes consistently. It's not an easy thing to do. There's a lot of work that goes into this shit. I don't think people realize
shout out to Kenny. Shout out to Kenny. You do a lot of work behind the scenes. You're doing a lot more work than, you know, I do a lot of like the media and the pushing and the promotional stuff. But you're pushing buttons and sucking cocks back there and doing all that weird stuff that no one sees. And that, yeah, a testament to you, man. Shout out. Congrats.
Appreciate you, brother. You know, I think some people were worried too about the, I've been asked multiple times, like, hey, when you move to Texas, what's going to happen to the podcast? When you move to Texas, what's going to happen to the podcast? This, you know, Matt and I have we have wives that work weekends, and we are both men that work during the week, and it's we can't always get together, in person to do this pod, and we've shown that we can do it remotely, keep the quality. It's only going to get better. As the pod starts bringing in a little more money, we will upgrade some of the things on Matt's end, so the camera quality is just going to get cleaner. Mm-hmm. And so you can the product that you're seeing now, you can expect it'll be at minimum this quality, if not better.
Dude, we're doing a lot of stuff, you know, a lot of stuff to try to bring the best for you guys. So yeah, man. And also I want to say, hey, thanks for sticking with us for a year.
Yeah.
And growing with us.
Spotify Wrapped is right around the corner, brother.
I know. That's going to be pretty cool to see, because I know we're going to be on some people's list, which is wild, you know? But yeah, man, thanks to everybody who's been along for this journey, because we're taking this game by storm. I mean, I was like, it's kind of like baseball, right? In baseball, you don't want to talk about a no-hitter. When a pitcher's doing good, you don't want to talk about it. Mm-hmm. Don't want to talk about it. It's bad luck. Well, I mean, a year in, the numbers are in, the views are in, the charts show that we're a real player in this game, and that's because of you guys listening. So Kenny and I definitely appreciate all you guys.
Super appreciative. We've I guess to like, we've done this before, but to show our appreciation to you guys, we're gonna do pretty much a listener questions episode, but we do have some longer questions. I had 2 of them actually. That I wanted to dive into. So the first one, Matt, I got is from Eduardo Guillen, EG_925. He actually asked one of the questions, but this relates to his question, just a little more long form. So we'll just run off this one. It says, sup, another question for the podcast. I started jiu-jitsu as a hobbyist with no intentions of competing. Once my closest sparring partner and sensei, James H. Terry, competed at Worlds, it was both inspiring and motivating. I got the itch and decided to register for my first competition for the experience and to test my skills, win or lose. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Love the podcast.
I've said before, I think everybody should compete at least once. So congrats for doing that. Yeah, I mean, why not? What do you have to lose? You know, it's not, just go out there and give it your all. I don't think there's anything wrong with putting on a line. I think every man should put it on the line at least once. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, just to see like who you are. Like, so yeah, I mean, you're going to get a different look. It's going to be a different feel from in class. And shout out to your professor for competing and basically leading from the front, because you had no desire to train, or compete. And by watching your professor compete, it motivated you to do. So he's obviously doing a good job because that's what professors are supposed to do. So yeah, man, stay on the grind. Congrats.
Yeah, I think it's super cool that you're stepping out of your comfort zone, and I think that's where growth comes from, is when you do the uncomfortable things that maybe you don't want to, or you don't necessarily feel prepared to do. You're never going to feel prepared, especially for your first competition. There's always going to be the fear of the unknown, and I don't know what I'm getting myself into, and am I ready for this? And did I drill enough? Did I practice enough? Where's my game at? Like this very first competition is going to show you all of that, and I think it's a good like retrospective look at your jiu-jitsu journey, and I think that you're going to have a lot of different feelings depending on how you do, especially, but just even I'd say like throughout the week after that comp. If you compete Saturday, compete Sunday, that Monday you're going to feel a kind of way about it. Tuesday, Wednesday, by like the next weekend, you're going to kind of have like gone the full gamut of emotions over it, and really kind of like you're going to hyper think about any mistakes that you make and just kind of focus on that. Then you can kind of realize, okay, here's where my holes are. This is what I got to do to plug those holes. But I'm stoked for you. I think it's fucking rad that you're stepping into the fire, and I'm glad that you are reaching out to us and letting us know that you're part of it. You are a part of this community, and we're super thankful for you to share that with us.
100%.
What was the other? I know I screenshotted it. This is a funny one. Not funny, but like funny, interesting.
Okay.
This episode's brought to you by rollpay.co.
It's not role play, because that's something different. It's role pay. And if you're using role pay, you're going to save your gym $700 to $1,000 a month in credit card transaction fees.
RollPay offers credit card transaction processing and gym management software to help your gym save money.
On the other hand, RollPay also helps underprivileged jiu-jitsu students achieve their goals, because 10% of every transaction goes straight to a kid who needs help in the jiu-jitsu industry. Over 250 gyms have already signed up, and they're saving right now.
Check out rollpay.co/OS and save today. Okay, so some things we've talked about in the pod. Who would you say is our most polarizing, non-competitive BJJ figure?
Non-competitive?
Yeah, like isn't actively competing in jiu-jitsu, but is a very polarizing character in the jiu-jitsu space for a multitude of reasons. Maybe it's because he does things outside of jiu-jitsu as well, and then this man's all about the dollar.
Money. I'm drawing a blank here.
Money.
Who?
Guys, grab here.
Oh, Henner Gracie.
Says this is from Justin JC 882903.
I was gonna say Gordon, because you could have said that non-competitive.
Yeah,
but he did get one in.
Here is a question you guys might have interest to dive into. Henner Gracie, Gracie University. You may have heard of him. ... He owns GST for law enforcement, which I think it's Gracie something tactical or something like that. I've been a cop for 15 years, and I really do think that it's a great program for law enforcement compared to the dumb DT stuff we have done for years. Jiu-jitsu is even taught in our academies in Illinois now. It has gotten a lot of criticism lately because of the costs and the research associated with it. Not jiu-jitsu, but the Gracie stuff. Moreover, with this new quote-unquote safe wrap system, I don't know if you've seen anything about that at all.
A little bit.
Okay. With this new safe wrap system, which is essentially a gift wrap, Invictus Leo BJJ has been openly critical of this as well. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Also, Evando Nunez posting a lot about leaving Gracie University and even burning his black belt. He doesn't name Henner specifically, but we all know.
I know a bunch of Gracies that don't particularly like what Henner does.
Mm-hmm.
Henner's kind of the ShamWow guy of jiu-jitsu, right? So He's kind of like OxyClean. He's gonna upcharge. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you want a new belt? Like,
when my grandfather Helio taught me. Yeah.
Right. So it's like everything's a pay, everything's a money grab. But like he's smart, people pay it
Mhm.
because but his stuff is also legit. Like he does teach good stuff. He's a legitimate black belt for sure.
Mhm.
It's just, he's just nickel and diming everybody.
Right. I think our biggest criticism that I could say collectively of the Gracie University system isn't necessarily the technique that you're learning or anything like that. It's just kind of some of the step away from traditional jujitsu in the way that it's taught. You know, jujitsu always has been taught in some sort of a gym, academy, school, etc. And there's an instructor that's hopefully a black belt, and they teach some moves. You do some drilling, some situational, and then you go into your roles. Most jiu-jitsu schools are set up that way.
The one thing I just don't like about Henry Gracie is he'll be like, and lesson 775 of the grab the collar. I'm like, lesson 775 of the tactical movement, or like he has like a special lesson for every like
Right.
thing that he does. Lesson 445, sit on your butt.
Well, I think that is because Gracie University is primarily online based. And I know that there are some academies that teach the Gracie University curriculum in person. So
So
maybe
you'd be like looking up lessons to find certain
yes,
things.
it's almost like she's quoting chapters in a book kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's
So
like biblical almost.
yeah, but that's our criticism of it is that you shouldn't be learning jujitsu online. I think anybody that's trained jujitsu for more than a year would say that like that's not the way to do it. You got to have. I mean, if you have no other option, but it's not 1995 anymore, guys. There's fucking jujitsu academies everywhere, and even a McDojo jujitsu academy is going to be better than learning online. But I think,
Yeah, you got to roll with somebody,
yeah,
guys.
yeah,
you gotta get sweaty. You got to go, head to head and fight somebody.
eh,
And I'm getting a lot of shit because of my posts that I made this week. I collabed with I stitched some other schools saying like the most dangerous belt in jiu-jitsu. And
mhm.
it was a white belt. And everybody's pointing at the white belt. Like the white belt's the most dangerous. And I made a saying like, why are you scared of white belts? That's like one of my biggest pet peeves. I think that's a question later, but that is my biggest pet peeve is why people who say that they're the higher belts scared of white belts. And so I made a clip saying like, you shouldn't be scared of the guy you were when you first started. And everybody's and they're just coming at me like, you don't understand. No, no, no. And I'm like, it just shows that people that do jujitsu, there's three types. There's the online types. And then there's the people who do jujitsu because they feel like, well, they don't want to get hurt. So jujitsu is the way to go because there's no punching and no kicking. And you can still say you're doing something cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the people who do jujitsu who are like, I'm down to throw hands
Right.
too. Like, I don't know. Like it's there's a level of sissification in some people who do jujitsu. And then there's some people who are just about it and like don't care, who like to get cross-faced, who like to, an elbow to the face by a spazzy white belt. That doesn't like hurt me. That's like, oh damn, we're getting after it right now. Like when I get like bump heads or busted up a little bit, I'm like, oh, we're really getting after it. Like I love that kind of stuff. I love a hard roll. Some guys are like, I don't want to get hurt at all. You just want to like do kata form like that. What are we doing? Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is a contact sport. You're gonna get roughed up. You're gonna get black eyes. You're gonna get bloody noses. Crazy elbows are gonna come. And if you're a higher belt and you're rolling with a white belt who you know that I'm rolling with a white belt, he's probably gonna be spazzy. I'm expecting crazy elbows and stuff to come.
What's the sign, the physical sign of somebody who grapples? Cauliflower ear.
Cauliflower.
Yeah. You don't get that from not having physical contact. You don't get that because this is a light sport and we're flow rolling. You don't get you don't get cauliflower ear flow rolling, guys.
And I'm coming at this, and let's be real, okay? Let's be devil's advocate. I'm coming at this as usually always the biggest guys in the gym, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming from this perspective. So I'm not coming from a female's perspective. I'm not coming from a smaller guy's perspective, right? which I get it. Like rolling gets a 250 pound white belt who's just crazy, and you're 160 pounds. That could be a long day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, especially, but you should at 160 pounds, if you're like purple and above, and you're going against a 250 pound white belt, I'm not saying win, but you should be able to control his, collar sleeve. You should be able to control him and not get yourself into a spot where you're getting hurt.
Right.
Or if you're not, then you obviously your defensively in your jiu-jitsu is not where it needs to be. So you should try to roll the spazzy once in a while to see if it is. That's all I'm saying. Right. I don't get why people are like avoiding guys. This is coming from me because I was the king of the spazzies and now I got to avoid it a lot. I would just sit there and Pancho would be like, no one's going to pick you, Matt. You got to find somebody. No one's going to pick you. No one's going to pick you. There's a guy in our class, AJ. I think you rolled AJ. Purple belt.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He, between rounds, he just puts his hand up in the air and walks around because this was literally my life as a white belt because nobody's going to say, I want to roll with that guy.
Right.
Because it's a fucking long day any way you slice it. No one. So you got to fucking roll with him. What he's doing by doing this or what I was doing by doing this or like asking people for rolling as a big, by you saying, I'm basically punking you. You're being punked between rounds. By you like, I'm not going to look at him. I don't want to make eye contact with him. I don't want to roll with him. I'm punking you. But by walking around with my hand up, like, come pick me. Who wants it? And you're looking and making eye contact with people. And people are like, no. They're getting punked. Don't get punked. Roll with them.
Right.
Trust your jiu-jitsu. Trust your skills.
When it inevitably with someone like AJ, who's very good technically as well, doesn't go your way.
A lot.
Yeah. Then you know what you need to work on.
He's not going to hurt you. Trust.
Right. Especially higher belt.
Trust your opponents.
Yeah. But I think kind of diving back more into this Henner thing, the criticism he's getting, the safe wrap thing. He is marketing the gift wrap position as this new technique that you can show law enforcement. And now it's wild to me that law enforcement is just barely starting to adopt jiu-jitsu into their training, if that makes sense. What I have learned of police, especially since like the defund the police thing, is that there's very minimal training. There's actually a barber in California has to undergo more hours of schooling than a police officer. It does in the police academy initially, right? I think 50% more. I think a police academy is like 1,000 hours and barbering's 1,500.
Is that just because they need numbers? They got to get you on the street quick.
I'm not 100% sure. Now, once you pass the academy and become a cop, I know a lot of the training falls on the police officers. So as far as like, I guess there's ranges, every police agency has ranges, but you have to like schedule range time. And sometimes it's busy. Sometimes it's packed out. So it's like, do you go to a private range? Do you just not train? And then there's a lot of cops that come to my school that are like Oceanside PD. And that's all out on their own dime. Now, fortunately, there's a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms out there that do offer discounts to police. And we've even had some people comment on some posts about this in the past where they're saying like, hey, I own an academy and I give cops free jiu-jitsu up to blue belt. And if they want to continue from there, it's on them. And hopefully you've built a rapport and a relationship with them and a trust, and they've learned some practical things that they want to stick with it. But at least
there's also a program, Adopt a Cop program.
Okay.
Which is a legit program, which you can like look them up on Instagram and fill out an app, and they will pay you $60 a month towards your tuition.
Kind of take
till you get to blue belt.
Okay, like a stipend.
So
yeah,
or something like that. Like they pay it for you. You got to fill out, show you're a cop. I think the only thing is you have to take a selfie after your training every day. My buddy Bronson did that and got his blue belt and never trained again. But He's gonna be so fucking pissed
We're clipping
that when he listens to this right now. But no, yeah, Bronson, where you at? No, yeah, you can do this program and they help cops, get that extra level of grappling.
So the fact that it comes out of a cop's pocket to pay for a lot of this training, that could deter some people. Some people are, tight with a dollar. Like, you've mentioned you might be with in the past, not when it comes to the thing that you love, but,
right.
Some cops maybe don't see it as a priority and they figure I'm an okay shot and I'm not really going to get any altercations. And, I've got a badge on, so I'm pretty protective. But we see, especially Tom DeBlas posts this a lot. We see video after video after video of cops trying to arrest people that aren't even necessarily large people that fucking wiggle and fight their way out of it and just take off running, and the cop can't catch them.
I think this is happening more now because cops are so scared to make the wrong move. And
I think it's twofold. I think it's that. And I think there's a general lower respect for police and law enforcement these days because of, the political spectrum over the last 5 years. And
the media, the bad ones go viral and the good cops never get talked about.
Right. And that being said too, there's a fine line between what is a mistake, like an honest mistake, and what is blatant, disregard for protocol. And so it's like, do I want to walk that line as a cop and, sacrifice my livelihood, the livelihood of my family, my pension, et cetera? Or do I just want to play it real safe and just kind of, avoid confrontation and altercations, and just do kind of, be a traffic cop essentially,
right.
I don't know, man. That's one of the tougher jobs out there. And
you've seen that clip from The Town? Remember that movie, The Town?
Mm-mm.
Ben Affleck, they're bank robbers in Boston, and they wear nun masks.
I'm vaguely familiar with the movie, but
getting ready to go in there and rob this bank, and this cop's just sitting in his car. He looks over and he sees him doing it. He just rolls his window up. It's like, nope, not gonna mess with that. Nope, don't want any of that smoke.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know, man. So as far as the Henner thing, and essentially marketing the gift wrap position as this safe wrap thing that he's going to sell to cops in a program, the amount of money that law enforcement probably spends for these Gracie university seminars and these instructors to come in and whatnot, they could probably just go to a local jiu-jitsu gym, have a conversation with a coach there. Hey, can you teach us, would you mind coming in, once a week for, a month straight or something like that, 2 hours a day, and showing us jiu-jitsu that's specifically geared towards what we need to be doing. And they could build a program.
It's nothing new because I remember when I first started training as a white belt, my professors would be mad at Eddie Bravo for the rubber guard and be like, he didn't invent he didn't invent anything. That's people have been doing that for years. It's just a high guard, people I was so it's whatever, man.
Yeah.
People are going to try to wring every little dollar out of this sport they can. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's never been done before.
Right.
It's reinventing the wheel.
I just think I assume that it's expensive. That's what he was saying is basically between the recerts, because it's the Gracie University tactical, whatever. There's a recertification for that. So it can be tough because it's if a local agency partnered with a local gym, they could probably get more for the dollar out of it. But the brilliance of Henner is his ability to market. And I'm sure that he's pieced and packaged this program together specifically for law enforcement, changed some names around. Wears a uniform, probably he's wearing fucking some tactical pants and a fucking, a shirt tucked in and looks the part. So when he goes in and is teaching these little seminars and whatnot there, or having, he's not even doing it. He's having people under him do it. So, and then that's the recertification thing. So I've talked about this in the past. My buddy Russ, is a corrections officer, California Youth Authority, runs Warhead Wrestling Club in Northern California. And he's a certified instructor for this Gracie stuff, Gracie University Tactical. And so he had to go through like a week's worth of training and then basically has to show that he has the proficiency level to demonstrate that and teach it to people in his department. And that's it. As a jiu-jitsu practitioner, you think like, wow, you learned a week's worth of training and now you're qualified to teach it. Like,
you're not learning nothing. You're not learning shit in a week.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It's like like you said a couple weeks ago, I showed you lasso for like 10 minutes. Yeah. How much of that do you remember?
1%.
Yeah. It's just how jiu-jitsu is. You just forget. Yeah. Like, it's like a lot coming at you, and then you just got to retain what you can, and then try to find something else tomorrow, and then kind of puzzle your game in through the stuff you've learned, and be sad about the stuff you forgot.
A lot of jiu-jitsu growth is trial and error, and you've been shown the technique, and you try it, and then all of a sudden you hit a roadblock because there's some little small movement that you didn't pick up, and maybe you're lucky enough that your professor caught it and he pulls you to the side. He shows you what you messed up on, or maybe you ask him, a week later, whenever it pops up in your head and you remember. And then all of a sudden you try to do that little correction and you land it in rolls the next time. And now you're like, oh shit. And then you try it again and again, and you keep landing it. And all of a sudden it becomes a part of your game. And
the key to having something part of your game is hitting it once.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it brings that confidence. X guard sweep. I don't play X guard. You hit one X guard sweep, you're like, I love X guard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I play X.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, lock it in, dude. Like,
I agree.
It only takes one. In jiu-jitsu, it only takes one. You hit one scissor sweep. I scissor sweep, guys. That's one of my favorite sweeps. Like, that's you fail them. Like, I hate half. I'm always getting smashed. You hit one half guard sweep, you're like, oh yeah, I play deep. I go coyote.
I'm a deep guy. We got some questions. I hope that answers your question. As far like we've got no.
Henner is a successful. He's legit. So if you're doing his stuff, he's legit. He's legit. We don't fuck with the online shit. We feel like you should have to go mano a mano.
Yeah.
To get it done. There's no spazzy white belts in Henner's online course though. Right. So if you're trying to be a sissy boy and avoid online spazzy white belts because you're scared, Henner might be Gracie University might be the cut for you. Right. But
would I rather cops do Gracie University than not train at all? Absolutely. Would 100%. I rather do cops do Gracie University than going into a jiu-jitsu gym and just learning jiu-jitsu? No. Go learn at an actual gym if that's
Cops are vulnerable. Cops are vulnerable in training because if they get hurt in class, tweak a back, tweak a rib, for us, it means nothing, Kenny. We go to our job, we limp a little bit to our desk or whatever, and we still get our work done. You compromise your back a little bit, you tweak your knee a little bit as a cop or your rib, you're vulnerable out there.
Yeah, but I'm also sure that there's some people in the department that train. So go train with those guys because they know what to do at that point, and they hopefully know what your job consists of, so they know not to fuck with certain things. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah. So I think it's important. I think all cops should train for sure. And I think the best route would be just the long traditional jiu-jitsu journey. But if that's not for you, Gracie University is better than nothing. So
100%.
Guys, here's why your hormones suck. If you're listening to this, then chances are you may be one of countless guys who are struggling to see the results they want in the gym, in the mirror, or even in the bedroom. Most guys are focused on testosterone. However, that's only 50% of the answer. Without adequate growth hormone and its end result, growth factors, you can't optimally absorb the testosterone you have, no matter if it's synthetic or natural. That's where BioPro Plus comes in. BioPro Plus fills in what you're missing out on to help maximize your performance in the gym and even how you look in the mirror without any needles, side effects, or doctor visits, all at a fraction of the cost of synthetic treatments. Over the last few years, BioPro Plus has been taking the medical community by storm as a faster, easier to use, and 100% safe alternative to prescription HGH and peptide treatments. It's become an underground favorite for professional and combat sports athletes and has been featured in Men's Journal, Muscle and Fitness, and even venture capitalist magazines. Simply put, BioPro Plus is getting real guys, real results, really fast. Check them out and enjoy your new look on life.
Question here. We got Colin McSorley. What does swing for the bushes mean? First of all, my man, it's aim for the bushes.
And second, McSorley, if you know that phrase, that means you listen to the whole podcast, and we appreciate you. That means you listen the whole time.
Yeah.
So shout out to you.
That is at the end.
So tell him, Kenny, what is it?
In the beginning of the pod, Matt was like, we should have some sign-off thing that like doesn't make any sense. And we're just going to say it every time. And somebody's going to eventually ask, here's the question, you know? And it's all from one of the Shaft movies, the remakes with...
No, it's from the other guys.
Oh, the other guys? Oh, okay. With
the other guys.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson and The Rock. And it's just a line from the movie.
They're at the very beginning of the movie, the other guys, first 5 minutes of the movie, The Rock and Sam Jackson are two badass cops, and they're just like blowing up the city and chasing burglars and like destructing everything. And they chase all these guys to the top of a skyscraper, and they stand on the edge of the skyscraper, and these guys their enemies zip line down, and they don't have any zip lines, and they look at each other, and it has like "There Goes My Hero" music from whatever. There Goes My Hero music. And then Rock goes, you think of what I'm thinking? And Samuel L. Jackson goes, the bushes. He goes, aim for the bushes. And they just jump off this skyscraper, and there's nothing down there, and they just kill themselves. And then Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg take their positions.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's it. So that's the line from that movie, and I just always mark out when I see it, because my algorithm is full of movie clips for memes, obviously. And so, yeah, that one, I was sitting on that one for a long time. I was like, what am I going to do with this? How can I make this jiu-jitsu? And then Kenny came along, and there it is. That's the ending of our episodes.
Then we got, what is the correct term for a BJJ gym? Is it gym, studio, classroom, etc.? I don't know that there is. I mean,
it's not dojo.
Yeah.
It's not dojo. Now, you see at the dojo. I've never seen no one ever say that. I say, you going to class today? I've heard that.
Gym.
I've heard
academy.
Are you going to the gym today? Are you training today? Meet me at the gym. I would say from a SoCal, it's kind of like, I guess it's like soda for wherever you're located, right?
Right. Or pop.
Like pop. And then Midwest, like
right.
In Southern California, we say gym, I think mostly, or academy.
Yeah.
But like, it's like, we never say dojo. We don't say dojo, or we don't say school. We are a jiu-jitsu school, but we don't say, you going to school today?
Right. Yeah. We don't refer to it as that. Not candidly, at least.
I sent to you on multiple threads.
Yeah. Cardboard from the Discord. What do you think the new meta is going to be in the top end of jiu-jitsu in the next coming years?
So I don't know what the hell that means.
Like Kenny. the leg lock thing, you know, in 2017, like that changed the spectrum of jiu-jitsu.
What's the newness, like top thing.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be hitting moves off this alley wall.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the new thing. I think it's going to be.
You think the alley's here to stay? You think more people are going to adopt it?
I think they should.
I've seen it on social media in the last couple of weeks.
No negatives for it, right?
On social media in the last couple of weeks, I've seen a lot of random gyms just kind of posting pictures of building, maybe not necessarily like they'll build like a corner of a gym, you know, like so that there's two walls and it's in a corner, so you can work the corner, you can work the wall.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will be a thing for sure. I think jiu-jitsu is going to make a turn. It's been such leg entanglements for a while now, and that's just because Danaher was the guy, right? And Gordon was the guy. So everybody's like, we're doing this. Well, they're not like in the favor of the public right now for whatever reason. Danaher is still Danaher. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
he's still a wizard, and Gordon is still Gordon, regardless of what you think about him personally. But I think people are wanting to change the game. So I think this influx of like Penn State wrestlers and all these guys who are like, I think when these wrestling based guys develop better ground game, they're going to discover something and like make it new.
Yeah.
And that will be the next hotness. Like, wow, you see the takedown, like slide by to freaking leg lock or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's going to be some kind of like off a takedown move that I think is going to be like the new thing.
There's so many things in wrestling, from like ankle picks and single legs and whatnot, where the wrestler ends up with the leg, that there's got to be some like hybrid transition to leg entanglements from a wrestling background kind of a thing, you know? I would say, you know, to touch on your Gordon point too, if you really watch Gordon's matches over the last, like, let's say 3 to 4 years, he's not diving for legs the way he was in 2017, 2018 anymore. He's finishing, you know, from the back. A lot. Gordon really loves taking the back and loves choking people.
Well,
off
the defense got better at it.
Yeah.
So his sub rate is probably like, it's harder to get somebody there because people are so good at defense now. So now he's like, it's on bottom. I don't care how good of a shape you are. If you're on bottom, your tank is burning faster than the guys on top. So he's probably like, I want to be on top.
Right.
Like, so that's probably like his new thing is like, I have that, it's there. But like, from you think about wrestling, I'll send this clip to you. I saw this video of Guy Mendez or Hoffa Mendez. He had the guy in a cow catcher over his neck, and he turned it into an armbar. I was like, what the? It was like the coolest shit I've ever seen. I was like, I wish I could be that good. But like, that's a wrestling move that he turned into an armbar. Imagine what these wrestlers are going to do when, you know, they bring high level stuff. You're going to see stuff like DJs, like DJ who just retired, his German suplex to armbar.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of stuff that's going to be like, that's not in a traditional jiu-jitsu guy's wheelhouse, but these guys have been wrestling since they're 5, and they're going to, when they get high level at grappling, they're going to start adding some submissions to it. It's going to be pretty sick.
Well, I mean, that's what Eddie Bravo did with the Twister. The Twister's just a renamed, the wrestler. It's called the wrestler's guillotine. You know, it's a spine submission. So it's like, you know, he just renamed it.
Like Henner did with the
right. And that's the thing is, it wasn't a move in jiu-jitsu. He took like, okay, well, let me take this thing that I learned when I was wrestling in high school, and like, this is totally a submission, and I can totally apply this in jiu-jitsu. And that's where he kind of created the truck system from, because it was like in wrestling, you typically do it from a crossbody ride, which is essentially, you know, having somebody's back from turtle. Now, and when I do it, that's how I do it, is when someone pulls turtle and whatever, I hook the leg and I fucking go crossbody and flip over into the twister.
I have hit 0 twisters in my life. Not one. Not one twister has been done. Dude, I played twister when I was a child, and I also played it when I was in my 20s, and it was a lot funner in my 20s. But I've never actually hit a twister. I've been in a position where I've had the back, and I've not put both hooks in, but had a half hook on one leg, where I've kind of got to a position where we're both like positions where we're both on our back, where I can maybe go for the twister.
Right.
But then like, I just immediately just bailed and went to side control.
Gotcha. Let's see what else we got here. Mark Leg Action. Thoughts on the Musumeci, aka Spectrum, not making weight and getting stripped?
This is why you don't do this, Mikey. This is why you just got to be the nice guy that you are. You're being over the top and borderline cringy and like yelling in the mic that I'll fight anybody anytime, this, that, and this. And then you got caught. But the fight bailed. Rotolo pulled out, and you were trying to make weight to save a card, is what I heard. So shout out for that. But it's just bad PR. You were trying to do something good, and it turned out to be bad PR, which sucks. But man, he was going off this week, huh?
Oh, I don't know if you watched the DJ podcast, whatever, but he's on the Mighty Cast.
Do you have 12-year-olds on steroids in your gym?
No. No, but he's calling off.
What?
Yeah.
He said major gyms have kids on juice, and Gordon is on juice, and look how much older he looks than me.
Because Gordon's 1 year older than me. Why does he look like he's 40?
I mean, Mikey has an old face too.
Yeah. I think
If you put suspenders, he has big old glasses. If you put suspenders on him, and like he could be like the dancing guy in Six Flags, you know, he's got an old face, dude. You know who he kind of looks like? He Mikey Musumeci looks like that lady who goes and she teaches jiu-jitsu all over everybody's algorithm. Like, she's like, I'm a tomboy, and you don't know if she like, you know what I mean? Like, she's like always trying to sell stuff.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
She's okay. She looks like she's a lesbian. I'm just gonna say that. But like, yeah, he looks like her. Mikey Musumeci looks like her. Have you ever seen them in the same spot? They have the same glasses, the same haircut.
Yeah.
They're both pretty technical. She has pretty good technique.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Wendy Williams Studio.
Chris Rodriguez, I think is her name.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
She's got good stuff.
What set of items could you buy that would make the cashier feel very uncomfortable at a store?
Oh man, you go first. I don't know if I should say this. I'm gonna contemplate. I should say this.
Duct tape, trash bags, hacksaw.
I bought Jimmy hats when I was. There's a story of me, but I can't do it. Am I doing this right now? Oh, another one. I'm gonna tell my mom. Don't listen to the podcast this week. I bought Jimmy hats at Walmart when I was 12. One time. Because I was getting pretty hot and heavy with the chick, right? And I was like, dude, this shit could happen. Like, I don't know when, but I don't know how to use this thing. And I had lied to her and told her I was like all sexual active, but your boy had no numbers. That's 12, dude. Oh yeah, all the time.
He's about to practice.
I'm in there all the time. So I had to
all the time.
I have sex all the time. I freaking drive a bike. You know? I had a Huffy. So yeah, I remember it was very awkward. I was like, because I look like 12. If you've seen a 12-year-old, they look 12. Like they look a child. I just bought some Trojans and just because I had to test them out so I didn't look stupid when it happened. And I just sat.
Yeah, I put a condom on like a pro.
I bought a freaking 3-pack little box, and I had 2 in there for like 2 years. It didn't come as soon as I thought.
The first one was a trial method.
It maybe 3 years. It didn't come like 15. I was like 3. I had a trial. I was like, all right, I'm ready now. I know how to put one of these things on. And did I use a banana? No, I did not. But then I just sat on these. I sat on these condoms for like 2-3 years, just sitting in my drawer.
Did it leave an indentation in your fucking Velcro wallet?
No, I didn't have a wallet. They were in my sock drawer. That's how unactive I was from like 12 to 15. There was no shot, dude. Even if it's a spry the moment happened, I'd have to be like, hey, I gotta go home. I didn't need a ride. Yeah, that's the most awkward thing I've ever bought. I don't know about anything else. I guess like
no, like if you go to the store and you had to buy like multiple items at once, and the cashier was ringing you up, and they ringing these items up, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, it's got to be like it's gonna making a bomb or something. I mean, it's got to be something like wild like that, right? Like, what's he buying?
Yeah,
rope.
I said trash bags, duct tape.
But we come from an era of like the 90s where we had to buy our own porn and walk it up. Yep. You know what I mean? Like here it is, dude. I want this.
The gas station that had the bead curtain.
Right. We had to do that. Like now kids got lucky, but we had to do all the, so I could buy anything. I was all right, whatever, man. It's for sale.
Yeah, I've been into an F Street bookstore.
Sorry, Mom.
Chanceless 33. I just moved. What's the best way to switch gyms? Love you guys. Os. Love
it too. We gotta go to. You just switch gyms, dude. take your patches off where you're at school and go to a new gym, try new gyms out.
Yeah.
Like we've said before, don't just commit to one gym just because it's close to your house. Don't be afraid to commute a little bit if the school is better. That's the number one thing. Jiu-jitsu is not something you want to do because it's
Convenient.
better for you, like it's closer to your house.
Right.
If you're going to pay $150-$160 a month, make sure you're getting $150-$160 a month value out of your rolls.
Right.
You know.
And if you've listened to the pod long enough too, you know that there's a lot of culty things we've talked about some gyms do in the past. Gracie Baja. So maybe you look and see what their little like kind of buy rules are or whatnot. Like, do I have to buy their gi? Do I have to wear their rash guard? Like, are they going to allow you to be an individual and kind of get what you want and get what you or wear what you already have? Or are they going to force you to buy their uniforms and fall in line with them? What are those policies like? And how often are you competitive? How is this a competitive gym? Do they compete often? Do they compete in IBJJF tournaments? Do they have an IBJJ certified black belt? Or is it a school that doesn't have that? So you're only competing in smaller, like local tournaments, things like that. Do you go to a large gym now that has affiliates?
Gym size.
Yeah.
Like mat space.
I was looking at that today. I was like, when I go to Matt's gym to train, there are in any given class, at any given open mat, there's usually no less than 2 black belts. Sometimes there's 10 black belts. You know what I mean? So if I aspire to be a black belt and the only black belt in my school is the instructor, am I getting all of the look? Because we've talked about how jiu-jitsu and body types definitely factor in. Am I getting all the looks? You know what I mean? Do I have a large black belt, a small black belt, a medium-sized black belt, like an older black belt, a younger black belt? Like, am I getting a lot of different looks at black belt level to see whose game I can emulate? And like, am I really the level that I think I am? That kind of a thing. So, going to a large gym like that has a lot of different students, a lot of different sizes, a lot of different weights. You've got a lot of different avenues that you can look at from a jiu-jitsu perspective. But if you go to a smaller gym and there's like, a total of 15, 20 students, and I'm not saying like a newer gym. Let's say if that gym's been established for like 5+ years and it still only has like that many students, but there's a gym down the street that's got like 4 times as many students, like that might be the gym. There's a reason everybody's going there. And it's probably not price. So look into those things too.
Also, if your belts, what would you do if you feel like belts just getting handed out fast? Like, you're at a gym, you're training there, you're like, wow, this is really good. And then you're like, wow, everybody just keeps getting belts. Like every promotions, people are just belting up. Like,
right.
Like, if you feel like you're in you need to ask your professor, am I in an attendance-based gym?
Right.
If you are this is my advice for you. If you are in an attendance-based gym, you could be in an attendance-based gym, and on paper it sounds great. Like, yeah, you do the classes, you're going to get better. Like, the more you do jiu-jitsu, the better you're going to get, and you probably do have some skills. But if you're in an attendance-based gym and you're leveling up through the ranks as belts, to me, I would have to compete to see. I'd have to know.
Right.
Is my shit legit? Because I feel like, all right, I'm getting belted up. I'm rolling with guys in class. Like, but like once you get higher in the ranks, you start picking your rounds, you pick your rolls, easy day. You know what I mean? I want it. Lower belts can't ask you to roll, so you can kind of like poach what you want. To know if you're legit, I would have to see, like, am I legit? You have to compete, or you have to go to open mat and try and see if you're legit. Like, if you're just training at your home gym and you're getting belted on attendance, you might come to find out that your shit is heavy. Your belt is way heavy, and it's hard to wear when you're rolling with other people who aren't in your class. That's all I'm going to say about that. I see a lot of people getting promoted and saying things like that. It's just blowing my mind about the time that they doing it.
Right.
And I'm like, that is wild.
Yeah. Well, there's an average, usually 2 years per belt, right? Yes, there's people that go faster than that. Yes, there's people that go slower than that. A lot can factor into that. One, are you a phenom? Are you winning worlds? Are you winning every contest you go into? You're probably going to promote faster. 2, are you training 1 day a week? Maybe you're going to go slower. Are you training 2 days a week? Maybe you're going to go slower. If you're training 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week, then obviously you might be I think 3 days a week is probably average pace. 4 or 5 days a week, maybe you're going to be faster. Obviously, you're training more, you're going to get more technique, things like that. But if you go somewhere and it's like this person trains 2-3 days a week and they've been, there for 6 years and they're a brown belt already, like,
if you get a black belt in 7 years and you've never competed,
it's a questionable black belt.
Dead giveaway.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Yeah.
Red flag. Your belt might be heavy if you tried. And that's the open.
Yeah. Question for the podcast. This is from Jeff Luffman, Jeff's Jiu Jitsu. Every time or ever have a bro call you and tell you they are taking a pause in Jiu Jitsu, life is getting lifey. He's a new blue belt, stud wrestler credentials, starting EMT school, mentioned money for membership dues was an issue. What's the right move in this type of situation?
Well, it depends on how successful his academy is. If he's a stud wrestler already, and he's already so he's got a good takedowns, got a good base, and he's a blue belt, but he sounds like he's young and he's trying to get his personal stuff locked in. Jiu-jitsu will be back for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of him. Grappling is part. He's already a stud wrestler. Grappling is his thing. That's where he relieves stress.
Right.
So he will come back to it, and it's okay to take a break if you're trying to better other areas of your life.
Yeah.
But if his school is really successful, I don't know how good his school is. If it's a smaller school, this might be tough. But if it's a bigger school, maybe go to the professor. If you're and be like, hey man, I'm trying to do this. I don't have the money, blah, blah, blah. You never know, man. The professor could work something out. You might be able to work something out with them.
Right.
But it sucks to see a good training partners lose. Right. It's from Jeff's side. I bet you he's like, man, this guy was great for our gym.
Right.
This guy gives me great rounds. He's got good takedowns. He's shown me a lot. And now all of a sudden you lose that guy. It's hard. Sometimes we're almost feel like we're selfish of we don't want you to leave because I need you. But
right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes people have to better their life. They got to move to Texas or some shit. And you know what I mean? Leave and then join a fucking Atos in the middle of nowhere. And then just, leave their friend that you just found this friend. And all of a sudden he just takes off. And then you're just in this pity of doom and you're just staring at a wall. What did I just do here? And this guy just left now. And I'm just sad and depressed. And you don't know what's going to happen. And you're should I start talking to other people who have microphones? And you don't know what's going to happen. And then, you never know. But,
our first guest, Tony Martinez, he told a story about when he was at about purple belt level, that he was going through some financial troubles and whatnot. And he was fighting MMA and stuff, and he knew that jiu-jitsu was a hole in his game, and he needed that. And he talked to his professor, and his professor at the time was just like, you have kids. I know you get a decent tax return. You pay me once a year when your tax return hits, and just give me a chunk of money, and you train the rest of the year. So he let him train that whole year. Tax return came around. Tony paid him, let him train a whole nother year again, kind of a thing like that. So, it's a lot of professors, again, depending on the success of the school, if they're not hurting on a month-to-month basis and you're an integral part of the school and you're an asset, maybe they're willing to work something out with you. But that's, up to the professor, and they don't have to. You can't be mad at them if they don't, but he needs to go talk to the professor. And if it's
quitting jiu-jitsu for being to add the level up as a man, they get other shit knocked out. Dude, I got to get my big boy pants on. I got to start making some commas in my bank account.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. Quitting jiu-jitsu for a chick because you want to stay home and watch Game of Thrones and spoon. She's going to leave you, bruh. She's going to leave you, buddy, because you're going to gain weight. And you're not the dude she fell in love with when you were training. Seen it a lot.
Matt said that like he's been hurt by those men that have left jiu-jitsu for their
I've just seen it. I've seen it. No. I've always been a piece of shit. And I've just trained. But like, there's been times where my wife's like, please don't go home, offering me everything in the world. They stay home and I'm like, I gotta go. Because I just like have this OCD thing when like the days I trained before, especially going up to black belt, the days I trained, I was like, if I don't go, then somebody's going to get better. Or my bunny rabbit, which my bunny rabbit philosophy, I said before, is just going to get that much farther away from me.
Right.
And so it was almost like an OCD thing of why I had to go like in my early days of training, like especially purple belt era of me was like, just like every time I could train, I would train and I'd beat fights. Me and my wife would fight big fights. Like you're choosing it over.
You're not choosing. That's the thing is I'm fortunate that my wife is best friends with my professor, so she has an understanding of the importance of jiu-jitsu outside of me telling her why it's important to me. And I'm fortunate there, but if you're not a jiu-jitsu practitioner and you're a woman and you happen to listen to this, he's not choosing jiu-jitsu or the gym over you. He's choosing himself. He knows that he needs it for his mental health and strength. And he's no good to you if he's no good to himself. So you got to let him go. You got to let him do the thing. It's an hour and a half. Come on. Maybe 2 hours if he stays after and talks.
I just gave my daughter a thumbs up. I don't know what the fuck she said. She asked for something. I just gave her a thumbs up. Who knows? Wild card. We don't know what the hell she's going to do, dude.
Dad, can I use the stove?
I said, for you guys. I don't know what the hell she's going to do. That was for you guys.
Man, I think that's going to wrap it up, brother.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Aim for the bushes, brother.
Aim for the bushes when she's making cereal. My name is Matt. Follow me at Host Nation BJJ. Follow Kenny at Freak Party BJJ. Follow us on the Discord, BJJ Balance Discord. I was playing video games yesterday.
Matt
and
did.
I was not doing well. That was not doing well.
Did you have
I
fun?
Was not
though?
even. Yeah.
Did you have fun?
I had fun. But I was starting to get angry.
Yeah. Call of Duty has that.
I could feel it. I was like, Gah. I was like, Gah. I just kept fucking dying, dude.
Yeah.
And like,
it's always
a fun time.
Yeah. It's always rough in the beginning because you gotta learn those maps and whatnot. And kind of once you figure out where your points are.
And he's like John Wick and video games.
Yeah. I'm okay at them.
I'm trying to find something you're not good at, dude. It's like growing hair.
Damn it.
Follow Kenny, follow me, follow us on YouTube also. We're close to monetization. Guys, if I'm saying...
We're like 105 away.
Look it. Here we go. I'm putting a deadline on me getting this. It's getting colder, okay?
You said end of the year. That's December 31st.
Listen, dude. I've given it 7 months, Kenny. Okay?
Yeah.
If we don't have it by November 16th, okay? These titties are staying in this shirt. And I ain't getting in no damn fucking cold tub. Promise you that right now. It ain't happening. I put a deadline on it.
All right.
100 away. We want to be monetized. So yeah. Shout out to the sponsors, BioPro, RollPay. Follow us on TikTok. Kenny will post something someday, whenever. My name is Matt. This is Kenny. Aim for the bushes. Oh.